bills in his first year in office than any administration in decades. Trump has signed 96 laws this year. Truman signed more than 200, about 250 according to the Truman Presidential Library. Ryan Nobles is out front tonight in West Palm Beach near Mar-a-Lago. And Ryan, the president was there to thank the first responders and firefighters, which he did, but he quickly pivoted to his legislative accomplishments. What are you learning? Is he conflating here bills he signed with executive orders? What's going on?
You know, that's what we're trying to figure out, Pam. And we should point out that this was a nice effort on the president's part to reach out to these first responders here in West Palm Beach. He did it earlier in the week where he personally paid for a number of dinners, Christmas dinners for the first responders that are putting in some extra effort to take care of him and his family while they're in West Palm Beach. But you're right, after just a very short period of time thanking them at this fire station in West Palm Beach, he started talking about his long list of accomplishments from this year. And that's what we're trying to figure out. When he says that he has passed more pieces of legislation since any president since Harry Truman, it is simply not true. Now, the president has signed a number of executive orders. His administration has done a fair amount of regulatory action. They've had success with judicial nominations. But in terms of bills signed into law, the raw facts are that the president has signed in the fewest since the Eisenhower administration. So we're not exactly sure where he's coming up with this figure. But so far, speaking to these first responders, from what we can tell, the president just isn't accurate.
And it's just something he keeps repeating. Also, Ryan, over the past few days, CNN has video of President Trump golfing. But today, an unmarked white truck was blocking the view of CNN's cameras. What did you learn about why it was there, and how is the White House responding?
Well, so far, Pam, nobody seems to want to take credit for this unmarked box truck that showed up just outside the Trump International Golf Course. This is a public space that our cameras have been positioned for the past couple of days, and we're able to catch a quick glimpse of the president while he was golfing. But today, this truck showed up out of nowhere, and we don't know where it came from. It actually moved at one point when our photojournalists attempted to try and get a different angle, so to make sure to block the view of whoever was golfing at that time, and then it moved away pretty quickly. We did ask the Secret Service, and this is what a spokesperson told us. She said, quote, "The U.S. Secret Service is in the business, I should say, of protection and investigations, not in commissioning vehicles to block the media's view of the president's golf swing." And the other thing, we reached out to the Palm Beach Sheriff's Office, which is helping with the protection of the president. They, too, could not tell us where this box truck came from. But, Pam, it seems pretty clear that someone did not want us to get any pictures of the president on the links today.
That's for sure. All right, Ryan Nobles, thanks so much. And out front now, former director of Black Outreach in the Bush White House, Paris Dennard, and former Philadelphia Mayor Michael Nutter. Gentlemen, great to see you. If yesterday, in our discussion yesterday, was any indication, I think tonight we're going to have a very lively discussion as well. I want to talk to you, Paris, first, because as we were just talking about, look, no doubt the president has had accomplishments in his first year of office, but he's saying repeatedly that he has surpassed Truman for the most legislation signed in the first year. That just isn't true. He has signed 96 bills, but that's behind several presidents going back decades. Should he stop repeating that he has signed more bills than past presidents when the facts show otherwise?
Well, you know, I think if the president is saying this, it's because he's probably been told this. And I think that if White House staff has told the president that this is the case, then they should be able to back it up with the evidence supporting the claim. If they are including executive orders, if they're talking about things like that go into that 96, I think, pieces of legislation that he has actually signed, then that might factor into it. But again, that goes back to the staff. So I believe the staff has told him that, and I think they should just clarify it for him. But I think it is true that the president should articulate the things that he has done and the achievements that he has signed, because sometimes that gets missed in articulating what he's done. I don't care about the number, the quantity, the quality of what he's done in terms of deregulation and the substance of the things that he has done, especially this tax cut, which is going to really impact middle-class Americans come February, and already that we've seen thus far, is good for him to talk about.
Michael, you agree?
No, I think it just shows continued incompetence and general default to lying by Donald Trump. He clearly doesn't know the difference, as any executive in public office should know, between a piece of legislation, an executive order, a regulation, appointing someone or nominating someone, and then they get confirmed by the Senate to some post. So Donald Trump continues to demonstrate a complete lack of understanding of government and governing. Just, pretty much anything he'll lie about lying. He just lies. That's his thing.
Well, in Paris, he has appointed the most appellate judges in any president's first year. He
Correct.
has issued many major executive orders. He's made several foreign policy changes. So it just does make you wonder, why does he need to say he signed more bills than, any past anybody, as he said today, when he can point to other things that are true? It just raises that question.
Well, I think if you look at the totality of his life and being a businessman, he has been he was a very, very successful businessman. And in many cases, he was the first. He did lead. He was number one. And I think that that's important to him when he talks about making America great again and winning and being number one. Those are things that are metrics that he looks to in terms of how he deems himself as being successful. So I think he wants to have those things. And I think maybe somebody has told him. But again, he can't point to, like you said, Pamela, he can point to some really tremendous things that he's doing for the country that are unique to his presidency and that are going to have a tremendous impact on the nation, both right now and in the future. So I think he should just, and it's not just the president, it's the White House, it's people like me, it's his supporters, it's the members on the Hill, should go out and articulate what it is this administration has done, because it's going to be very important going into the midterms, 2018, to say we have done the following things that are going to be good. And he should say that, he should champion it, and I think that he will, and I know that the Congress will as well.
Well, let me talk to you about.
Pamela,
go ahead.
Well, the problem here is that and I want to be respectful of Paris. He probably knows more about Donald Trump's record than Donald Trump does. I think it's disingenuous to just blame it on the staff or what people told him, or maybe some kid running around Mar-a-Lago told him. He should know it. He's the president of the United States of America. He's the chief executive. These are knowable things. It's not a mystery, right? So, and he should stop saying things that are not true. But that has been his history. And whether it's being sued for racial discrimination, whether it's 4, 6, whatever the number is, bankruptcies, whether it's the birther movement, whether it's the Central Park 5, Donald Trump is a habitual sociopathic liar. And all of this is about his own ego. Then we've got trucks trying to, block people from seeing him golfing. Golf, play badminton, tiddlywinks with manhole covers. Do whatever you want to do. It's Christmas time. It's holiday time. You're off. It's okay to do these things. What's not okay is to lie about them. That's the problem.
Well, let me just ask you, because I know, look, golfing is okay to do. Lots of people are off right now for the holidays. But the president tweeted on Christmas Day, Paris, "I hope everyone is having a great Christmas. Then tomorrow it's back to work in order to make America great again." Since then, he's been back on the golf course, I think, every day. Again, nothing wrong with golfing, but why doesn't he just admit, hey, I'm taking a few days off to enjoy the holidays? Why doesn't he just say that?
I don't see whatever he said in that tweet was wrong. Look, I think the president understands
Well, he said, I'm getting back
right
to work,
now,
but yet he's going to the golf course. So that's where it doesn't really square.
Well, right. Well, the last time I checked, there's 24
nothing
hours.
wrong with going to the golf course if that's what you want to do on your holiday. It's just the tweeting, I'm going back to work, but then going to play golf every day.
Yeah, so the point I was trying to make before I was cut off is that you have 24 hours in a day, and so the president doesn't golf for 24 hours. And so in the time that he does have, he may golf for 6, but there's a lot of other time that he has that he can do things. He can multitask. Remember, President Obama was sitting on a stage cutting jokes with the press corps at the Correspondents' Dinner while they were invading and going after Osama bin Laden. So remember, President George W. Bush was sitting in a classroom. He was sitting in a classroom. He was sitting in a classroom during the 9/11 attacks, and then was on a plane while the things were happening and unfolding at lightning speed. Because wherever you go when you're the president, the staff goes with you, and so you can and you are able to govern, to do things that the president does, even if he was sitting in the Oval Office. Wherever the president goes, the White House goes with him. I think President Trump realizes that now. But to say that just because he might be golfing for a period of time does not mean that he is not doing other things in that time there.
And I'm not trying to cut you off here, except the president did say during the campaign he wouldn't have time to play golf, and he was repeatedly critical of then President Obama about his golf outings. Listen.
Yeah.
Obama ought to get off the golf course.
I'm going to be working for you. I'm not going to have time to go play golf.
He's played more golf than most people on the PGA Tour.
He played more golf last year than Tiger Woods.
So is he being hypocritical now, Paris?
Look, President Obama said that you could keep your doctor, and that wasn't the case. Look, the things on the you stay on the campaign trail, the things that you say during when you're on the run up to something, and then it actually becomes law, or it actually becomes the reality for you as being president. I don't think the president fully understood all of the trappings that went into being the president, in the sense that you can golf for a period of time and that the White House, the entire staff goes with you. They take the entire team. So if anything happens, it's as if the president is literally sitting in the Oval Office. And I don't think he realized it then. He realizes now, and that's why he's golfing, and that's why he's still doing great things. When he comes back in January and goes to Camp David, he won't be at the White House. He won't be in the Oval Office. He'll be at Camp David, which is a retreat center, meeting with the Speaker of the House as well as the Senate Majority Leader, and they're going to be talking about infrastructure. So again, that can be seen as a relaxing retreat setting, or it could be seen as he's also working for the American people. So I don't think they're mutually exclusive.
Do you agree with that, Michael? Look, that he can play golf and do work in a day.
He can do whatever he wants. I mean, you know, he's the chief executive. As I said earlier, it's not that he's doing these things. There's nothing wrong with golfing or playing tennis or doing, you know, skydiving. Do whatever you want to do. Just don't lie about it or try to deceive the American people as to what's going on. I don't think President Bush actually knew that some lunatics were going to fly planes into the Twin Towers in New York. You know, President Obama was doing whatever he was doing, the example that you laid out. That's not the issue. Donald Trump lies all the time about what he's doing versus what he tells the American public that he's doing. That's why it's an issue. Not the what, it's how he talks about it, and he just lies.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen.
Well, he hasn't
Great
lied
having you
about trying to
on.
make America great again, because he's doing that, and that's a fact. Thank you so much.
Well,
All right,
hey, Paris,
great. You guys
happy
are both going to
Kwanzaa,
want to have the
and I
final
wish you
word.
the
I'm
best.
not going to let you do it, but thank you both for coming on. Appreciate it. Thank you. And up next, Michael Flynn's brother has a public message for Trump. Pardon him. Is the president